I think we need to have an underwater dance party at Abyssal City. They play music like that.
Well, maybe we'll see later if Bjorn is going to win and lets his Marines dance. That's going to be the first step. Right now, we have the Zerg player on screen. He's starting for TSL, of course. He's the strongest TSL Zerg that we have. It is...
TSL symbol!
Of course, also the last Zerg player that they have today. He has to win against another Terran player. He already defeated Marine King. Can he win against this guy, though? Starting to the left with his normal ID, not using the ID ghost key anymore. Thank God. This is...
Bjorn Prime!
Streeter Fighter Voice is really excited about this guy.
Yeah.
That's a good reason for it. Very strong player. Can he take down Simple, though?
I'll fight for you, Warhound. You know, I share sentiments. I really want the Warhound back in the game.
Yeah, I want it to be back in the game as well. Do half the damage, have half the hit points, cost twice as much, then it might actually be balanced.
I think that if it's back and it's balanced, I'll be happy, but the fact that it's gone makes me a little bit sad. By the way, I tweeted this earlier, but Dustin Browder actually...
Scout?
No, what happened?
I'm sorry that I interrupted you there, but he scouted everywhere in his main base.
Just making sure.
He really expected a lot of shenanigans here. So he's dropping the 15 hatch, but yeah, continue. I thought you were talking about Warhound, Dustin Browder.
Dustin Browder posted on the Battle.net forum today that Carrier is going to be back. It is not going to be removed from the game, very likely, because there was a thread discussing whether it would be removed again. Because he said that it felt like it was a little bit mean, the Pros players, and they removed it. Felt a little bit weird. And he said some other things. It was kind of a funny post that he made. I recommend reading it, but Carrier's staying in. That's the bottom line. Warhound, though, seems to be out for good. In fact, I'm very sad about. Vocal fans, you know, making signs for it. You know, we'll all never forget. In fact, the Warhound and the Carrier are the only units that have been removed from StarCraft 2 ever, right? Is that not correct?
There's a huge difference, though. The Warhound was the one unit you didn't have to build anything else, and you could just 8-click and you would automatically win the game. That doesn't happen with Carriers all that often.
You very strongly dislike the Warhound.
Okay, who doesn't? Except
don't.
the Terran players.
I thought it was a pretty cool unit.
Which race do you play lately?
Terran.
Okay, thank you. Second base for Bjorn Prime is of course also up. He has the second gas in his base right now and is going straight for the Hellions. We have the factory already being built. No aggression in the early game, so we don't see this double 11 that we sometimes had in previous matches, especially at the GSTL. Right now the question is what exactly is Simple going to do, because on this map he has a few more options. We already talked about the Mutalisks, which are really strong because of how the map works, how many high and low ground positions you have where you can try to find a good spot, tag units, go into the third, into the natural. And the big problem for a lot of Terran players is that the third base is just so exposed.
It's so exposed. For the Zerg, it's frustrating as well because you have to spread your creep all the way down there, but there will be a lot of run-bys, and this is something that Bjorn will have to prepare for. He's actually going to start Hellion production. He's just finished.
You know, as a Terran player, you could actually build a planetary at the third base, but no Terran player really wants to have his third with the planetary. These orbitals are just way too tempting, and therefore the third base is always can go down to run-bys. Well, usually the orbital doesn't die, but the SCVs are, of course, in a lot of danger. The same is true for the Zerg a bit. He needs to have overlords on the map in order to scout if there are dropships heading his way. If there's a drop in the main base, if there's anything happening at the third base, creep spread is really important. I'm personally a huge fan from Zergs using creep in their main base. That's something that nearly no Zerg does. Some occasionally drop a creep tumor in order to make sure that they spot drops in the base early on, that they have the speed advantage as well, but most try to just cut those this energy out a little bit.
And some people also, very few people have done this. I've seen Lucky do this. Put spore crawls on the edge of their base. You have to spread creep in order to do that, but if you have a spore crawl on the edge of your base, it's so much easier to stop drops from coming. Similar to the turrets. If you put it in your mineral line, it stops the medevac from healing the Marines there, kind of, but it's not very effective at actually stopping drops.
Double evolution chamber would usually indicate that we see Infestor play instead of Spire tech.
And these first Hellions are just going to see this base. They're not really going to be able to actually kill it. The Queens are heading over there.
The only thing that he can do as a Terran player in order to put pressure on the third is trying to intercept the drone itself. But as soon as the hatch is building with only 4 to 6 Hellions, he just doesn't stand a chance. The third base, of course, also now being built by Jan. And we have the first upgrade going for armor here, whereas our TSL Zerg is really focusing on his creep spread here. He wants to make sure that he has a nice connection between every single base, that he's able to delay his opponent's move outs a bit, and of course he needs also to work against the Hellions, which is really important here. Hellion run-bys have been taken down and have been winning so many games.
I mean, we saw actually Hellions in Terran vs. Protoss earlier. Float is going to be a problem here for a little bit. He's got his sport collar, but not in the right spot. Oh, that Queen got a little bit too far off creep. So many Hellions here, but he doesn't want to engage directly. He's just going to try to chip away at them with the Banshee. He needs to target the Queens that don't have transfuses, though. Oh, he misses that transfuse.
He's running out of energy for the Queens here, and the thing is he can just wait a little bit longer. He doesn't have to commit yet. He needs detection, as you already pointed out, and without a lair tech, he's relying on spore crawlers, and he just doesn't have them. Those Queens are about to die. How much energy is left on the Banshee? That's the...
It's about to run out 7 energy left right now.
He was able to kill a few Queens, and now the second Banshee joins the battle. Simple has to be careful here.
The third base did actually get... It got stopped in production because 2 Zerglings killed the SCV right before it was done.
And another SCV was being sent down to the top bottom left by... Yeah, it dies. But, well, completes the command center, the important part.
Banshee's going to work again on these Queens.
The Hellions refuse to kill the Zerglings. They actually move to the right. The Zerglings take down another SCV.
Now he brings him back. He can't coordinate his attacks here with the Hellions and the Banshee together. Even though so many Queens were killed, so much creep has already been spread, an insane amount.
He sent the Hellions down to the bottom left with an A click and was just assuming that he was in range of the Zerglings and would kill them. So he thought them dead, and then he just moved them to the right side when realizing that another SCV was being attacked. A little bit awkward here, but just a slight misclick. That can happen so fast.
Yeah, you know, and like L, I guess Beyond is pretty good at Hellion tennis. Bouncing them back and forth across the map. He's going to take out some tumors here. Pretty much all he can do with this pressure anymore, but the creep spread for Symbol is so good at this point. He needs to do this because it becomes more and more valuable as time goes on.
77 harvesters to 53. The 3 bases are safe. And look at all these overlords at the top of the map. You have them in the way where you would see a medevac later on, so Symbol will definitely see drops coming in. And these Zerglings, as already mentioned earlier, are great against this third base. He's always running in, taking out a few harvesters. He killed 5 in total so far. The Queens moving out, trying to take down the Banshee. At least get a Hellion.
The Queens, man. Look how far they can go with that crew spread. And they're just going to instantly remake it. Right now, 11 active tumors as well as 11 drones on the way, on the production.
Yeah, that's another 11-11 right there.
Yeah,
that the Terran players don't like.
Yeah, certainly not. The third base is just not really been saturated for the longest time. Young got that early on, wasn't able to use it. He had to send another SCV, then he lost a few SCVs there shortly thereafter.
What Terran needs is really, they need a new unit in Heart of the Swarm. I feel like how we see Zerg spreading creep these days, a vacuum cleaner would be great.
Yeah.
Just suck
Maybe
all that
that's
creep
what they'll
in,
change the Widowmine.
get rid of them. Yeah, the Widowmine is going to be one of those
like
cleaning
the floor,
robots.
Yeah, the floor robot. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You and I are on the same page here.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. Just think about it. Even if it's only like an April Fool's unit, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the Queens are really pushing their luck here. Barely doesn't get that hatchery made.
The Hive Tech is on his way, and currently this is really a game where Symbol is able to show his performance in the early game, where he's able to throw his pressure back. He struggled a little bit when there was no Overseer against the Banshee, but the energy was running out, so Jan couldn't do as much damage as he wanted. But with his creep spread, he's delaying it so much. He needs to be careful with the Infestors, though. The Banshee really wants this kill.
Yeah. And he actually saves them. The pressure that Beyond is putting on is so heavy. These got to be careful. One mistake, and you can lose all those harassing units, the Hellions, the Banshee. Got to be so careful about that. But he's cleared up the creep. If he had not attacked as he did, Symbol's creep would be already past the watchtowers right now.
We have 92 harvesters for Symbol right now against 74 SVs. The fourth base is now also being built. +2/+2 for both players coming up. Speed for the Overlords. And always, of course, the Marines is trying to run and take down creep tumors. And they are accompanied by 2 medivacs. So as soon as there's anything coming his way, he will move back. But a burrow on the Infestors, and there's the bundle. Really well played by Symbol here.
Even grabs the medivacs, he could chain those down, and I think he will.
That was really, really well done. What Jan did here is something that we've seen more and more by Terran players, using medivacs and Marines to clean up creep tumors, but with a burrowed Infestor, Symbol taking down every single unit here. That was a huge win for him.
Great job there. His creep has been significantly reduced though, and he needs to get back on that pretty soon, because even if Bjorn is behind and loses these harassment units, if he doesn't remake the creep, then Bjorn is just constantly going to be able to feel comfortable moving across the map. On a map that's this big, the bigger the map, the more important creep spread is, basically. Put it simply.
And 1 Zerglings on the map. We have Admin and clans being researched. The Hellions being completely caught off guard. And even though Bjorn has still a lot of supply, he needs to be very, very careful. He's going for +3/+3, as does Symbol. But with the 4th base up in these engagements, Symbol is looking pretty good here, taking out the tanks. He will lose the Zerglings, but as long as he kills those siege tanks, he will be in a pretty good spot when the next fight actually starts, because he has so many Banelings right now, and the more siege tanks he kills, the harder it is for Bjorn to take down the Banelings.
Yeah. The Ultralist choice here is one I think is really interesting. Without all the creep spread that is our workhorse map, you can only use them defensively for now. If he attacks with them, he's going to have an advantage before he does, so he's going to have to use extremely good bundles. I love the usage that we're starting to see more and more with burrowed links just for vision. Not for traps, but just for that. Oh, wow. That actually went a lot better for Beyond than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, that went really well for him. Symbol lost a lot of Banelings here and did not kill anything at all. Both players are maxed out. Well, will be in a few seconds. And Bjorn is floating a lot of minerals here. That's pretty cool. He is at 200 supply, of course, and therefore can afford this. He's getting all the upgrades. He's starting to drop a little bit, but there are Zerglings in of course, also Spike Crawlers and Queens. But this is shaping out to be a very interesting late game scenario between both of them.
He's going to fumble here. Bjorn could drop those on the advantage, decides not to. I mean, we're talking about pennies here on the dollar when it comes down to it, because both players are maxed. They both have enough resource to remake a few Banelings. It's not going to be too big of a deal. 3-3 finishing, though, for Symbol. Way ahead of Marine King.
And Bjorn only has 1 Marauder. That's going to be a problem against all those Ultralists that we have on the map. There are 7 Siege Tank.
Oh, look at this trap. He has actually got 2 burrowed Banelings in the mineral line. So when he transfers the SVs, they'll just detonate them. That's pretty smart. Seen from time to time.
What Bjorn is doing now, of course, is getting more Marauders now that he has identified the threat. He knows that there are Ultralists coming his way, but Symbol is looking for an angle to attack and doesn't find one so far.
Uh-oh, the tanks are not in the right position. Symbol decides not to fight here. He's like, no, it's a bad idea. There's a sensor tower, you can see my every move. A drop will force a cancel on the Thatcher, even though the Link's coming back. Actually, he messed up his Marine control, so he may save this. He will save this.
Good position though between the mineral patches, and now Bjorn is moving out where Symbol starts attack transition with a Spire that he already started. We have a lot of upgrades now coming out for Bjorn. He's getting +3 for his siege tank. He's also getting armor upgrade, but those Marines take down the Infestor, and he's able to kill this 4th base for Symbol. Symbol needs to be very careful here.
That was really well done. He almost got the Ultralist as well there. The Ultralist got out. This is a big counterattack. There's only 1 Marine in a bunker and unsieged tanks.
Exactly, they're not sieged, but he doesn't have enough Zerglings over here.
He's desperately trying to come back. He's stem these units. He's running. And Symbol says, I can't quite stick around.
He doesn't really want with these units in these positions, and that's why I don't really like the Ultralists on this map. It's just so hard to engage into the natural, into the 3rd phase as well later on, because you have those high grounds where siege tanks can be used. You have those very narrow points where Ultralists just don't cut it.
Maps that have a lot of ramps and a lot of space, both are very difficult to play games, because on a map like this, yeah, there's a lot of ramps, but there's also just a bunch of space, so the Broodlords don't really have anywhere to hide. Uh-oh, this could be the moment. Oh, the Sensor Tower may save his SCV's life here with the Banelings down there.
Yeah, the banelings are still there, still being burrowed. Oh, but Few Marines, Mini Commando has been taken out already. And now we have this transition into the Broodlords, of course, with the first few Corruptors being built and the Greater Spire on its way.
2 additional sensor towers for Beyond. He really wants to be able to see his opponent's every move.
The problem for Beyond is that he might not be ready for a Broodlord transition.
Yeah,
if Simple is able to trade armies cost efficiently and then remaxes with the Broodlord composition, it's going to be bad news for our Prime player.
He's playing really Infestor light right now. There's a Cancer's going to have to be cancelled. There's a drop at the north. Actually, that drop could take out the hatchery. There's not enough here. He loses the command center, but this hatchery...
The Lings are running in now, so he should be able to get it. And what Beyond does is also set up planetary fortresses. This is the signal for Simple that he cannot make Ultralisks work. He's getting so many Corruptors now.
Yeah, and if he keeps those Infestors alive, that's how he's going to be able to use the Broodlords efficiently. He's only got 6. He's kept his Infestor count really low. He's also a little bit low on the drones right now at 57. He's lost several to all these harassments, and he can't remake them because he's maxed.
He lost in total 19, but he also just sacrificed a few of them. He wants to max out now with army supply, and this is 142 for Symbol, whereas Björn only has 120. And now we have 4 starports being built,
they're
but
already.
Will they be there in time?
Yeah, he's basically, he can't make anything out of them until he has a fight because he's maxed.
There are not enough Broodlords yet. 14 Corruptors and 4 Broodlords. Still so many Ultralisks. And look at all these planetaries that we now have. Björn is just trying to play the map to get into a very good position where he can force Symbol to attack in a very, very limited area of space.
Yeah. And he wants him to fight the choke point. USV is being sacrificed here so he gets some more Vikings out. The Viking count is going to be critical, but also the Infestors. The Fungals are so important in these kinds of fights because if you catch all the Vikings and kill them instantly, then you neutralize the Terran's ability to move out and engage. 13 Corruptors out right now. Going to be up against 11 Vikings when these 6 finish, but Symbol's not waiting. He's going now.
Yeah, he's moving out, and as long as he has this many Corruptors, he can definitely do a lot of damage. He's trying to snipe Viking after Viking. A very positional battle now, and of course it's very difficult for Symbol to engage with the rest of his army, because the setup for Björn is quite good. This is tense, man. This is really, really tense. Both of them are a little bit too reluctant to commit too much, but this base is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Here come those Broods. The Vikings are going to pick up a Fungal. Oh, there's the Fungal. See, you got to make sure your Vikings are split. If the Fungals hit them and you lose all your Vikings, you cannot fight. The Zerg just dominates the battle. Ultralis running to its death there, a bit of a mistake. The second one may follow the same fate. He's actually retreating. The Vikings are getting a lot of shots off.
Yeah, he has a bit of a problem with his ground army, but now we have another Fungal, and this time the Corruptors, they engage, and the rest of the army is moving into. The Ultralis leading the charge, trying to draw the siege tank fire. The Banelings follow suit, but Björn is killing a lot here. Both players are dropping in supply, still roughly at the same level, but the bank for Björn is gone, while Symbol is still pulling minerals and gas.
This fight is so close. The transfuses are keeping those units alive. A drop at the top left is finally shut down now, but that engagement was so close. The thing is, right now in income, with the mules and all the extra command series he's made, Björn is able to make a lot work, whereas Symbol is still pretty low in workers. He's at 53, and even though he's got that base alive still to the top, he needs a little bit more income if he wants to keep remaking his units.
We have 4 Vikings being produced for Björn, and he has 12, but the Corruptor count will increase exponentially in just a few seconds. 9 already, and here come more Infestors. This will increase the Infestor count for Symbol up to 7. He could use his Queens too for a few transfuses. That's the one thing that I really missed in the last fight, because he definitely has the lava. He has 7 Queens in total. He doesn't need all of them, and I think he's actually using them now. Yes, he has them with the army.
Yep. This position that Björn is in right now, though, if he sends a large enough force, right now Symbol has all of his eggs in one basket. His entire army is in one location, and his Zergling count He's gotten lower. It's like 23. If he actually sent a group of 12 Marines to the top, he could kill that base.
134 army supply against 140. Another medivac gets being shut down. The thing is, this is the last game, guys. Whoever wins this match has decided the clan war in the clan match in favor of his team. Here we have the army supply, and Symbol is moving out. He wants to crush this base. Very positional. Unit control is everything here. If you move in too fast with the ground units, those siege tanks will crush you. And more SVs are being sacked now as he wants to have a better army supply. But Symbol is not going to wait around. He is committing now.
He is committing indeed, and it looks like Bjorn is going to fight. Well, he considered it. He's going to have to repair this planetary for a little while. And this is what I was talking about. You send a group of units to the north, you can totally throw the Zerg off balance when he's got all of his units in one place. And the entire Zerg army turned around for 3 Marauders and a Marine.
Bjorn is playing such a positional and defensive game. He has planetary fortresses everywhere. He's setting up his Vikings in a nice concave, just waiting for his opponent to engage. He will close in from every angle possible, making sure that fungals are not going to be such a big issue. If he clusters those Vikings up for 1 second, Symbol will grasp the opportunity, use the fungals, take them down with the game, but Bjorn is not allowing this.
He's going for another Marauder attack with a scan to the south as well, clearing up creep wherever he can, trying to, you know, as I said earlier, play tennis basically with the Zerg, keeping him bouncing back and forth. Now he's finally got the ground where he wants to move up and take this high ground. He's cleared the creep here. And this is the part where he now becomes the aggressor. He's got an insane Viking count. He has 32 Vikings. That's actually maybe too many.
The Brood Lords are going in. Now here come the Vikings from everywhere. Look at this concave. He's trying to obliterate this. There is just not enough. The bundles, yes, a few of them are good, but at the same time, both of them are not dropping supply. The army is going smaller and smaller for Symbol though. Most of his corruptors are already gone. He doesn't have a single one left, but there are 11 Brood Lords, and I don't think there is enough anti-air.
Well, the Infested Terrans certainly won that fight for Symbol. There was not enough on the ground.
Yeah, he's able to push him back against all odds.
I think he had too many Vikings. He still has 12 left.
The Queens, of course, also help out quite a bit here with the Transfuse, with the anti-air, and he is pushing in now. Even though he has 32 Vikings, it's not enough. He has to use them in assault mode.
This is dire straits for Bjorn right now. He lands the Vikings, he lifts them again. He is doing a lot of damage to his planetary. In fact, planetary up to 50 kills now. He got building armor and he got the upgrade for the Ibis cannon.
Queens are so important for Symbol now. They are so important here.
Planetary falls and the Marines are starting to go down too. Bjorn is in a lot of trouble here.
He has no mineral patches. So useless. He has no mineral patches left. All the other bases that he has are empty. He's falling in supply rapidly, down to 100 against 160.
He can't produce anything. His production tab is blank. As is his face right now, because he knows that this game is probably lost for him.
With the concave that he had with those Vikings, I saw Symbol losing the air battle, but then the Queens really came through with the Transfuse, with the anti-air against the Vikings. Of course, also the Infested Terrans. We have 7 Infestors, not this massive Infestor count that we've seen Zerg players use against Terran, against Protoss. And he is just moving out once again, double. How did he actually get this tumor? Is that Overlord that got creep for a second?
You know, it may have just been that it didn't recede at that moment.
Yeah, maybe. But whatever it is, he drops creep tumors now. Wants to put them to use. Another orbital is going to die. And the income is now 100 minerals. There's one, that long distance fighting is all he has. Look at these bundles here.
He gets so many Marines, and now this is the end of Prime. TSL is done it.
Symbol once again the savior for his team, and there is the GG! Symbol wins the team match for TSL, 5-4 in favor of TSL, takes down Marine King and Bjorn.
Bjorn so hurt after that loss. And Symbol doing what he could not in Kodas, but looking really strong in that last game. A lot of patience. It takes a ton of patience in a late game on a big map like that to find out where to engage, how to focus, what composition to build.
That win was so important, not only for TSL, but also for Symbol. All this training, not in vain. He was not able to win against MVP, but he was able to come through for his team because of all this practice in the Terran vs Zerg matchup. Bjorn, on the other hand, is really disappointed here. Looks a little bit crushed, very, very sad. But Symbol, he's happy. Yeah. He needed this win. This was something that he really needed. The confidence after losing his Kodas match.
And Symbol is a player who has such a personality as well.
Yeah.
He's the real story of how you can go from basically being a nothing to, I mean, as far as being known goes, to being a superstar in such a short period of time because he trained hard, he got motivated, and it really shows. I mean, this guy is still not even done improving.
My personal story of Symbol is the group selection that we had. When he wanted to be in the same group as Seed, he wanted to face him again because he was just so shaken by his loss in the last season against the Protoss player. And then he actually also picked Happy in order to make sure that Symbol has to face that Seed had to face his own teammate. He was so angry, but at the same time so motivated during the entire group selection, and then he's able to get out of the group, able to defeat Seed, and it was just incredible. This was something.
It certainly was, and Symbol is a player who is just on a roll in Team League right now. He just beats everybody he faces. He's got an insane record, and it got even better today. No loss for him, taking out the final player. I think that TSL, with him as the kind of like the final player, they can just come through. The players in the front do their jobs, and then Symbol cleans up if he needs to.
Yeah, the weakness that TSL definitely has is, of course, they're predictable with the player.
The race distribution is a bit lacking.
The race distribution is definitely a little bit lacking. Of course, Polt, for example, coming through today for his team once again, making sure that he gets this win. And we are having an interview with the MVP of the day and also the coach of the winning team, which is going to be Coach Lee.
What a close Team League match. We predicted it actually. We were like, 5-4, I think, and Symbol and Marine King are going to come out. That's exactly what we saw.
It was everything that we hoped for. A great match today. And here we have the MVP. It is Symbol taking 2 wins and also the final game. Defeated 2 very strong Terran players, especially on the last map. It was very close. Let's see what he has to say. He's very happy that he won today. He's not really that satisfied with his performance today. It has to nag at him a little bit that he lost yesterday.
Yeah, of
이번
course.
시즌 최용화 선수가 벌써 10승을 하고 있단 말이죠. 어떻게 좀 따라잡을 자신이 있으신가요?
일단 그거는 기회가 좀 도와줘야 될 것 같고 일단 제가 못하더라도 크게 상관은 없을 것 같아요.
Hyungwa has 10 wins already this season. Talking about the individual ranking, of course. Symbol says that if he has the opportunity to play more in the GSTL, he's really confident that he can catch up with Hyungwa when he comes down to the most wins.
It's so funny because he usually goes last for his team, so the only way for him to have these opportunities is for his team to struggle at first. It's kind of an unfortunate challenge.
He has to talk to Coach Lee and say, okay, well, listen, I want to start. Yeah. He talked about the individual league and he says that he played just a lot against Terran. He was not really able to perform that well in the studio. So he's saying sorry to the fans that trusted in him. He's still a little bit sad about his loss, but he thanks them as well, the fans of course, and he wants you guys to keep supporting him. As mentioned earlier, his Twitter is actually at @TSL_symbol, so definitely make sure to send him a tweet.
Even though the team was down, I trusted in my final player. I trusted in Symbol, and I really believed in them. Of course, they did it. Came through for Coach Lee here, who still is rocking that sweater.
You're in love with that sweater, aren't you?
I could not wear a sweater like that, but when I see it, I'm like, that's a Coach Lee sweater. It's a new type of sweater I just discovered. The next time we play FX Open, and even though they're the defending champion from last season, we were able to defeat them before, so we can do it again. He's only worried about Prime and StarTail. Already beat one of those teams, so he's feeling pretty confident about this season.
He's a little bit forgetting about LGIM, isn't he?
He doesn't seem worried about it.
That's the first team that I would have named. StarTail and LGIM are, in my opinion, major contenders for a win in this season.
제가 자리에 비우고 코치도 없고 그래도 정말 알아서 잘하고 열심히 하는 선수들이에요. 제가 선수들에게 감사한 마음을
Thank you for all 9 players in the team house. Even though I'm not there all the time, the players do their job. They practice really hard.
그만큼 열심히 하는 선수들이니까 좀 많은 사랑 부탁드립니다.
So I hope the fans can trust in the team.
FX 오픈과의
And of course, hope for them to win more matches in the GSTL. You know, just confirming what we said earlier, he's not always available. He's a really busy guy. And definitely a great mentor to all. Like Hyun, actually coming from MBC Hero background.
Well, but that concludes it for today's team match. We are, of course, having a quick look at the results as well in order to show you what exactly happened today. Here we go.
Yeah. Here they are starting things out with our ZVZ. Revival took the first win. Classic came out with two really cool strategies.
Yeah.
Game number 3, Hyun shut him down with a blind 11 pool.
And then the Creator took charge, and Hyun didn't stand a chance against him, but Paul stepped up, took down Creator, and then it was a story of the Terran versus Zergs after Marine King defeated Paul. Symbol, just the final player for his team once more, was able to close to seal the deal, to close the series, and therefore we have a 5-4 result in favor of TSL. A loss here. They won at the IPL Team League, but they were not able to win here at the GSTL. These are the next matches. Tomorrow, of course, really important. We have the match between MVP and Startail.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting to see it. It's going to be earlier on. It's going to be at 2 p.m., so 4 hours earlier than normal. So make sure you tell your friends that.
Yeah, Startail, of course, really strong on the other hand. MVP, a team that always has done very, very well in the Team League. And it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a really good match. Startail is scary this season, especially because they picked up the Zenix players. So the roster got much bigger. They have a lot more Zergs now. This was something where they were lacking in the past. And with Live now already advancing to the semi-final of Code S, he is just very, very scary.
And Prime will now go to face Fnatic in that losers match. They're in the consolation bracket, is I believe how it's called for this tournament now. So they're going to be down there, still have a chance to not out of this tournament, same as Fnatic. So that should be a good match to watch as well, because that will decide who loses and is totally out.
This is it for the day, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Make sure that you add us on Twitter at ProxyWolf, myself at Caldo. We hope that we'll tune in for Startail against MVP. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.